Welcome grade 6s to WorksheetCloud. My name is Mrs. Vauger and I'll be keeping you up to date with your English work. If you're just joining us for the first time, a really warm welcome. If you were here yesterday, I'm so glad you came back. We've got an exciting lesson planned for today, so I do hope you will stay to the very end because there's a special surprise which I'll tell you about a bit later. Right, so let's jump right in. We are talking today about diary writing, and so we need to just delve a little bit deeper. Today we're going to talk about what is a diary or a journal. We're going to discuss ways in which we can write in a journal, tips to start, what to actually write about. We're going to discuss the diary of Anne Frank, a very famous young girl who wrote a diary during World War II. And then there are examples of books that you can read that are actually diaries. So I do hope you will stay with me. I have my own journal or diary, which I have here. And if you stay to the very end, this is the surprise. I'll read a little bit from my journal, but I'll also read a little bit from Anne Frank's journal, just to give you an idea. So let's jump right in. My apologies. There we go. Let's talk about what it is. And it really is very simple. It's just a place where you can express yourself and record your thoughts. And it literally is about whatever has happened in your life on that specific day. I do want you to encourage you to write or to start writing in a journal as we are in lockdown. I think what a wonderful opportunity for us to be recording our thoughts and our feelings. Who knows? But maybe in 10 or 15 years, if you keep your journal, you'll be able to tell your own children about it. Or just for yourself, for your own record, to look back and go, wow, is that what I did during lockdown? Is that how I felt? Because as humans, we forget things that happened in our lives. And so I really do encourage you to start one. There are different ways of keeping a journal. You can literally just write and have pictures. I know some of my children actually do little doodles and drawings, so you can have both of those. You could just write, or you could have a tick box. So you could have a tick box about the mood you're feeling. Are you happy, sad, content, productive, lazy? Or you could have a combination of all three. It really doesn't matter. It is your journal and completely up to you how you structure it. There are some tips to start. So obviously you need to find some paper, an empty notepad, or use notes on your iPad. I know some people even use it on their phones. As I showed you earlier, my journal is really just a plain book that I had in my study. I do think I need to cover it, even if I covered in some pictures from a magazine or something, but I really didn't have time to go find anything fancy, and you really don't actually need something fancy. You just need a book where you can record your thoughts. The next tip is to write about anything that you feel like writing about. It could be your day, your feelings, your future plans. It could be that you're feeling anxious or sad. And it's such a lovely place to record those feelings, especially if you feel you can't talk to anybody else right now. So I really encourage you to write those things down and be honest. It's just for you. If you want to share a part of your journal entry with somebody, you can, like I'm going to share with you guys at the end. But you really don't have to. It's really just your own special book to record what you're feeling. It doesn't have to be secret, but it is just your own personal diary. And then to make it a habit, so write regularly. I do try and do that, but I find if I'm busy or I didn't feel like it for whatever reason, there might be a couple of days between, and that's okay. If you're good at writing every day, that's wonderful. But if you skip a few days, it really doesn't matter. The most important thing is that you date it. So in the next tip, you can see that write the date, Friday the 23rd of March 2020. Make sure, not like me, that it's not a capital letter. Remember, it's a name of a month, so it must be a capital letter, March. And that will help you. So if you look back and you missed a few days, it really doesn't matter. It just tells you what happened on which day. And then you can start with Dear Diary or Dear Journal. The diary of Anne Frank, she called her diary Kitty. You don't really have to call it anything if you want to. You can just start writing. It's completely up to you. And then you need to write in the first person, as in yourself. So today I felt like last night we had the most wonderful family time and I so enjoyed it. So start with that and then use good punctuation. It doesn't matter where you are writing, what subject, science, maths, English, whatever you are writing, make sure that you're using good punctuation, spelling, interesting words. If you were here yesterday, you will know that we spoke about adjectives and we recapped a bit of that. So use your descriptive words to create a feeling or an emotion as you're writing in your journal. And you obviously will become a good writer if you do this regularly. What to write about? Now, this opportunity as we are in lockdown is a perfect time to find things to write about. So you can start off by writing about what you're grateful for. You could write about how you're feeling today, your mood. You could even write down what are you looking forward to after lockdown is over. So you need to have hope for the future. You need to know that we are not going to be here forever, although it may seem like it right now. But what are you looking forward to when this lockdown is over? What do you miss now that you can't go out? I know I could list so many things that I'm just missing. What are you worried about? And that's what I was talking about earlier. It is a lovely place to record your feelings, especially if there's no one that you feel you can talk to. If you normally talk to your teacher or a friend, and now it's a bit difficult, this is a great place to just write those feelings down. What do I wish I could do? So what do you wish you could do today? If you could do anything. What did you enjoy today? Think about the nurses and the doctors, and we don't even have to limit it to them. You can think of the people who are still having to go and work at our grocery stores and be on hand for us if we need them. What about those people? What do you think they are dealing with and coping with? Who do I wish I could visit and why? So maybe that's on a particular day you just wish you could see your best friend or pop in to see Gran. What are some of the things that you have been doing that you don't normally have time for? Whether it's reading or maybe mom's giving you more time to watch TV or your favorite show or gaming if you like to game. How are your family coping during lockdown? And all families are coping differently. Sometimes we have good days where we're actually patient with one another. And I guess if I think about it too, there are days when we get irritated with one another and we're impatient. So that you could write about on one day. What things did we forget to buy? Or what items are we missing? And I know there's certain things we can't buy at the moment, but there's also certain things that I can't just go up to the shop and get because I just feel like it. So there's certain things I'm missing, especially takeaways on a Friday night. What have we run out of? Maybe there's something you've run out of, and how have you been coping without it? Or have you been able to, mom or dad has been able to dash up to the shop and get it? What goals do you have during this time? And very similar to this one over here, what are you looking forward to? What goals? You need to have a future and a hope. We are not going to be in lockdown forever. I can tell you that right now. It may be a long time, but it's not forever. So what goals do you have for the future? This one is very bright. I hope you can read it. Are you being physically active? So I know some of us have large gardens. Some of us have very small homes. Maybe it's just inside your home. You're able to do some lunges or jumping jacks in your lounge, or you're able to walk around your garden. Are you doing something to keep yourself physically active? I love this one. Do I want to go back to school? Why not? I'm so glad you can't answer that right now. No, but seriously, there are very important reasons about why we don't want to go back to school, why we do. And maybe it's a mixture of those. And it's good to record those things. What are the positives of being at home? And what are the negatives? You could draw a picture one day or find one in a magazine to say how you're feeling. What books have you read or what movies have you watched that you've loved during this time? Because we do have time on our hands. So as a family, I've started a book, but I haven't gotten very far. We've been watching a couple of shows on Netflix and Showmax, which have been wonderful. And I think it's a good idea for me to record those. And then we've also been playing games. So I didn't put games down there, but what games have you been playing? So as a family, we've been playing Scrabble. We've been playing Rummy Cub. We've taken the box out, the puzzle box, but we haven't quite started it yet. But you could record those things in your diary. And I guarantee you that in a couple of months from now, you're going to look back and go, wow, I can't believe that that's what I did and thought. And then if we look at the diary of Anne Frank, she named her diary Kitty, as I told you earlier, and she literally would write about things that happened in her day. And I don't think she probably thought they were important at the time, but they really have given us a good picture of the time in history that was really difficult. It was during World War II, and her feelings and emotions. And so I actually have a snippet here from her journals, and I just love this. And even some of us could be really experiencing the same thing at the moment in lockdown. She quotes, "Writing in a diary is a really strange experience for someone like me, not only because I've never written anything before, but also because it seems to me that later on neither I nor anyone else will be interested in the musings of a 13-year-old schoolgirl. Oh well, it doesn't matter. I feel like writing." Little did she know that we would be reading her diary and learning from her. Another snippet from her diary. "How wonderful it is that nobody need to wait a single moment before starting to improve the world." And I suppose that encouraged her as she was writing, thinking of ways to get involved with her family and the people around her to make their lives a little bit easier. She also wrote, "I know what I want. I have a goal and opinion. I have a religion and a love. Let me be myself, and then I am satisfied. I know that I am a woman with inward strength and plenty of courage." Wow. I just think amazing, especially during the time that she was experiencing in a concentration camp. What amazing words that when you look back now, she maybe thought they were unimportant, but wow, have really been an inspiration to me as a teacher and just me as a person. Right, and then I've got some ideas of books that you could read. I know there's a lot of companies at the moment who are allowing us in lockdown to access books to read for free. So see what you can find. And I'm sure lots of you have read it, The Diary of a Wimpy Kid. There's Artichoke Hearts. There's A Secret Diary of Adrian Mole, age 13 3/4. I Capture the Castle. And then another book, Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. So just some ideas for you to look at and see if you find anything that interests you. And then we're going to end off. We've come to the end of our lesson, but before we do, I'm going to read that little snippet that I'm sure you've been waiting for. Nothing too interesting. You can see I've got pictures as well on some pages. I'm going to turn to Friday, the 27th of March, 2020, and this was the day after lockdown. So on Thursday night, we heard from our president that it was lockdown, and so this is what I wrote on the Friday. "Today is the first day of lockdown. It's been a good time in terms of meeting with my students in grade 6 via Google Meet every weekday at 9. I'm constantly creating new material or a video, checking mails, marking work. It's never ending. I see the facts. Over 927 people yesterday with the virus and no deaths." That was obviously on that day. I know it's gone up. "It doesn't seem real, although this morning the roads are quiet and I hear no cars or trucks. I'm hoping this time will allow us all to spend moments with family and slow down and seeking God and thanking Him for His protection." So just a little snippet from my diary, really just my thoughts. I really encourage you as we recap on the diary writing process over here. Doesn't matter what book you use, as you can see, mine's nothing fancy, but the fact is that you actually spend time writing down how you're feeling. It doesn't have to be every day. You can have a few days in between. And if you forget what to write about, you can come back onto this video, go to that slide, and find 20 different ideas of things to write about. When you close this video, you will notice that every time you close the video, it comes to the screen. And obviously it'll say play lesson. And this lesson that you were on was not sentences. It would have been called diary writing. And then there will be some activities that you can do. So there'll be a worksheet or two and a memo. Today there may not be an actual activity after this video. But your activity, you and I both know, to be encouraged to start a journal or a diary. And then just remember, if you have any questions, it's not like a classroom where I can see your hand and call your name and you can ask me something. but you can send me a question to the email address on the screen, grade6@worksheetcloud.com, and it must be about this lesson today, and then I'll respond as soon as I can. I'm so glad that you managed to join us today. I do hope that I will see you again tomorrow. And just remember, if you go onto Worksheet Cloud, there are maths and natural science lessons for you to watch while we are on lockdown. I will be here, same time and the same place tomorrow. See you, everybody. Bye.